So in this video, I'm going to do a quick review of just finding slopes of the line. So slopes, of course, with a line, that's the idea of the rise over the run, change in y over the change of x. So I'm assuming you know what a slope is. You maybe just forgot like the math behind it. If you have no idea what a slope is, I have other videos explaining that, and I suggest you check those out. So there's really three ways that you can find the slope. You can find it from an equation, from 2 points, or from a graph. So I'll go through all three. So let's start with an equation. So it's important to know what form of the line the equation is in. So let's say that an equation is in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So in this case, the m is the slope. So if an equation is in slope-intercept form, you can just figure out what's in the place of the m and be done with it. The other form of the equation that makes this easy would be the point slope form. So the x1 and the y1 are a point, and the m is a slope. And so once again, m is the slope, so boom, there you go, you found it in the equation. Now, the one that everybody tends to forget is standard form. So standard form is an equation of the form ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are numbers. So in this case, you cannot see what the slope is. To find the slope, what you have to do is you have to solve for y first. Okay, so with that in mind, I have three examples here, and if you are a little rusty on slope, I would recommend that you pause here and just see how you do with finding the slope before I tell you the answer. Hit play when you're ready. Okay, so a is in slope-intercept form, 2x minus 1, so the slope in this case would be 2. B is in point slope form, so this is the point slope form, so this would be, here's my slope right here, so 1/2 would be the slope. Now, this last one is in standard form, so this is where we're going to have to do a little extra work. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to solve for y. So to solve for y, first I start by subtracting off the 3x, so I've got negative 2y equals 6 minus 3x, and then I divide everything by negative 2. Okay, so this will leave me with y equals negative 3 plus 3 over 2x. So now this is really in slope-intercept form. So the number attached to the x is always where the slope is. So in this case now, 3/2, this would be the slope. So I can figure it out from the equation. I just have to do a little bit of extra work if it's in standard form. Okay, so let's talk about how do you find the slope from 2 points. So if I have 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, then the slope is just found by this simple formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Feel free to pause the video if you want to write that down. Okay, so now what I want to do is just to quickly review that. We're going to do that 3 times with 3 kind of different situations. So just to give you some practice again, I strongly recommend you pause here, give it a try. You'll learn more from this video if you try it versus if you just watch me do it perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to jump into each one of these. So I've got 2 points here. So let's see, my m then, so I take y2 minus y1 and then x2 minus x1. Now, by the way, it doesn't matter which order you decide to make these points. This could have been your x2, y2, and this could have been your x1, y1. You would have gotten the same answer. But here's how I set up my equation. So this becomes 3 over negative 1. So I'm going to have a slope of negative 3. Okay, so this would be a slope of negative 3. Next, let's take a look at the next one. So let's see, this will be 5 minus 1 over 2 minus 2. So I get 4 over 0. Okay, so this is one of those examples with slope where you have to just remember, so anything divided by 0 does not exist. So this is what we call an undefined slope. And so what this means then is that even though there's a rise, there is no run. So this equation is just going to go up for forever. And so this would be a vertical line. Now, if you're not sure what type of slope it is, you can always just graph the 2 points. I think that's usually the easiest. So let's say that this is 2, 1 and this is 2, 5. And now I can see just by graphing the points and connecting them that that's definitely a vertical line. So you can always go that route. All right, and let's try C here. So this is going to be 2 minus 2 over 5 minus 3. So I get 0 over 2. So that just ultimately equals 0. So this is the other special kind of slope. And so if I use that same trick where I just graph these 2 points, So let's say I have 5, 2, and 3, 2. Well, now I can see that this is a horizontal line. So horizontal lines always have a slope of 0. Okay, and finally, let's just review how do we find a slope from a graph. Okay, so now in this case, you always want to start with the leftmost point. So in this case, I can see a point here, so this is where I will start. And so you always go up and down first, and then you always turn right. So in this case, to get to this point, I've got to go down. So if I count, I go down 1, 2. So let's see, maybe I'll draw that out. So I went down 2. And then I'm going to go this way. So this is also 1, 2. So my slope in this case then is going to be down 2. So it's negative. And then to the right 2. So in this case, my slope is -1. So whenever you go down, that always means that that's going to be a negative number. Okay, so let's contrast to this line here, which is positively sloped. So if you can't easily make out points, or if there aren't points selected, then it's helpful to just select what points you can easily see. So from here, I can see that I'm really just going up 1 and over 1. So in this case, my slope will just be 1 over 1. Therefore, my slope just equals 1, and that's it. Now, the other two situations, similar to what we talked about with the points, would be these two lines here. So in this case, this is a vertical line. So notice that while I can go up as much as I want, there is no run. So if I think about that slope, it's up whatever. So let's see, I could go up 2, but over 0. So this is an undefined line. So vertical lines are always undefined. And then for a horizontal line, so notice that I have a rise of 0, and I can select any 2 points that I want. So maybe I could select these 2 points right here. So I could have 0 over 1. So this just always has a slope of 0. Okay, so that is just a crash review of how do you find slopes. If you found this helpful, I would love it if you'd hit that like button or subscribe to the channel. And otherwise, I will talk to you guys in another video. Peace.